Thank you so much for watching this edition of the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. I'm Katie Jackson. We're taking a look at some of the crime stories that have made headlines in our area. San Marcos police have arrested a second person in a deadly bar fight on July 19th. 19-year-old Avery Bowman Jr. is in custody after being wanted for capital murder. Fox 7 Austin's Katie Pratt has the details on what happened the day of the shooting.
19-year-old Jeremiah Jaden Tobias is behind bars in the Hayes County Jail.
I am thankful to report that the alleged shooter is in custody for 2 counts of capital murder and 1 charge of aggravated assault.
According to San Marcos PD, it all started when a fight broke out around 1:30 in the morning on Saturday outside of a bar downtown near San Antonio and Guadalupe streets. One of the victims who was killed, 24-year-old Anthony Barrera, was reportedly dating a married woman whom he was meeting at the bar that night.
The woman's husband came to the bar and confronted him. This continued outside and onto the sidewalk.
While the husband and boyfriend were fighting, a third person got involved, punching Barrera several times in the face. But things really escalated when a fourth person jumped in and tried to steal the necklace Barrera was wearing.
The victim realized this happened and stopped fighting the husband and began fighting this fourth person.
The fourth person has been identified as 19-year-old Avery Saul Bowman Jr. Police have obtained a capital murder warrant for his arrest.
A capital murder is committed in the course of committing or attempting to commit kidnapping, burglary, robbery.
Bowman has a criminal background including unlawfully carrying a weapon and possession of a controlled substance.
We have already seized numerous firearms, and it is our hope to safely apprehend 19-year-old Avery Bowman Jr.
It appears Bowman and Tobias were there together. So when Barrera and Bowman started to go at each other, allegedly Tobias then fired several rounds, striking 3 people.
Based on video evidence, we believe this handgun had an altered trigger, thus allowing for automatic gunfire. We believe 8 rounds were discharged.
Barrera was pronounced dead at the scene. 20-year-old Alec Pacheco was taken to the hospital where he later died.
The second victim, we believe, was actually known to the shooter and possibly even a distant family member.
A third person was grazed by a bullet while walking down the street and treated for minor injuries. 4 people were detained at the scene and Tobias was identified as the suspect.
We learned that our alleged shooter, Jeremiah Tobias, was alerted by neighbors that SWAT and police were approaching through the neighborhood. He fled on foot and was eventually picked up by a family member.
Tobias was taken into custody around 8 Saturday night. Records showed that he was already out on bond for unlawful carrying of a weapon and possession of a controlled substance. He was released on July 5th.
His bond is set at $1,650,000.
That was Katie Pratt. Austin police have identified a suspect in a March shooting at the Lit Lounge. They say Troy Tanksley was arrested for a different crime, and an additional warrant was filed after detectives connected him to the shooting. So that happened around 1 a.m. March 30th. 4 people were hurt. Tanksley is being charged with aggravated assault, mass shooting, a first-degree felony. Police say they're still investigating, and if anyone has information, to call them. Business owners in East Austin, they're cleaning up after someone broke into their buildings, and they think it's all from the same person. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has the story.
Shattered glass. It's apparently a common thing business owners in East Austin have been having to deal with recently, seen by these now boarded up windows and doors.
Petty crimes like this have to stop.
This man seen on surveillance footage rummaging through the Plant Society in the middle of the night.
He took my iPad and my card reader, and that was it.
He's also seen inside the La Plancha restaurant.
He took 2 beverages, 2 beers out of our cooler, Apple Watch charger, and my business cards.
not leaving with much, but leaving a lot of damage behind.
It's very defeating to see that what the person was after was nothing really. It's just going into a business because they feel like they can or whatever it is, and just cause so much damage, so much money for nothing really. Maybe less than $50 worth of stuff that he stole.
It just felt violating. You know, I put so much work into this little business, and I never thought a plant store would get robbed.
The owners say they started talking about what happened on social media and quickly realized they weren't the only ones hit by this burglar.
More and more people are saying like, hey, this happened to me last week, or this happened to me a couple of days. Like, we also got broken into. So it's just really sad.
They say they've put the pieces together and are hoping the Austin Police Department does so soon.
The process has been a little bit frustrating and disconnected because it's all kind of digital. You just upload your evidence and just kind of wait. I really want to talk to someone and tell them that there's a commonality between all of this and this person can be caught, because it's just going to keep happening to these small businesses, and these kind of damages really affect people like us that put all of our money into starting a small business.
We're just really trying to be a part of the community and stay afloat and feed our families and our employees. You know, we're just trying to make a living. Yeah. That's all we're trying to do.
Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin News.
Also in East Austin, police investigating a deadly shooting there. This was off of East Breaker Lane near the intersection with I-35. According to investigators, Kamari Thompson and his girlfriend were in their car around 2 a.m. July 19th when another vehicle drove up and someone shot them several times. Thompson was killed. The girlfriend had non-life-threatening injuries. Police are looking for a suspect, but no identity has been released. If you know anything, call police. A man with felony warrants was arrested after a 5-hour SWAT situation in East Austin. The bizarre arrest was caught on camera as someone tried to escape out of a window. This was the second SWAT call in one night. Hours before, there was another SWAT call in Del Valle involving a suspect with warrants who barricaded himself for hours before being arrested. Fox 7 Austin's Angela Shin has the details.
On the top floor of the M Station Apartments on East MLK, you can see what appears to be a suspect. He's hanging out the window with some sheets tied together, part of which is wrapped around himself. A drone flies a few feet from him. He lingers, tries to grab part of the window lining next to him, and eventually goes back inside. You can see SWAT officers in the apartment. Police were at the apartment complex Wednesday night into Thursday morning after a disturbance call. Officers say the man was wanted for violent crimes.
He had warrants for felonies involving violence. I know one was a strangulation and an aggravated assault. And there were others as well.
Police say in a case like this, they try talking to the suspect first.
The first resource that they used, which is generally what we always try to use, is negotiation. And the negotiation efforts were pretty extensive.
That lasted from roughly 10 p.m. to after 3 a.m.
And we have hostage negotiators that were trying to make contact with him and keep him engaged, but there was a point where that no longer seemed to be a valuable exercise, and the SWAT officers forced entry and took him into custody.
He was taken to the hospital as a precaution before being booked into the Travis County Jail. No one was hurt.
A man is behind bars after attacking two women with a hammer. It happened on Riverside Drive around 10:30 p.m. on July 21st. First woman says she was crossing the street when a man ran at her from behind her and hit her. Nearby, another woman says she was hit on top of the head with a hammer and the man tried to take her purse. Both victims were taken to local hospitals with minor injuries. Police arrested Andre Myers. He's charged with assault with injury and robbery by assault. Round Rock police released the identities of the two teenagers who were killed in a shooting. Fox 7 Austin's Katie Pratt spoke with someone who lives at the apartment complex where the shooting took place.
4 people were shot in an arms deal gone wrong at an apartment complex in Round Rock.
I never thought it was going to happen here, so it was just a very strange situation.
2 teenagers were pronounced dead at the scene. They've been identified by police as 17-year-old Brian Kinney of Austin and 18-year-old Samuel Mason of Pflugerville.
One of the kids that got shot went all the way to the third floor, and he stayed there until police arrived. He was one of the 2 of the 4 that survived. The other 2 died on the scene. One in front of my patio.
According to the Round Rock Police Department, detectives have reason to believe 2 groups were meeting up to buy a firearm. But what was meant to be a sale turned into a robbery.
Basically, hear like 10, 12 gunshots at that time. 7, 8 people running everywhere.
It happened at the Bellwood Apartments near Kinningham Park on Saturday afternoon.
They were doing a gun transaction, something, so it went wrong, and everything went sideways.
Reyes says the teens don't live at the complex. Round Rock police would not confirm if anyone has been arrested or provide a description of a suspect, but would only say that the investigation is ongoing.
They're still here. Not sure they will be here for long. I know these people, we never had any issue with them. They're always respectful. So this is very strange that this thing happened in the broad daylight.
Reyes says the complex has announced plans to increase security.
A man who stabbed a UT student to death in 2017 may soon be back out in the community. Kendricks White had a hearing scheduled, but it was postponed. Before that postponement, Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis spoke to the mom of Harris Brown, the student who died.
The fact that I could someday become face-to-face on the street with the person who murdered my 19-year-old son is very frightening. Very frightening.
It was a warning she received in a recent phone call she didn't expect.
My phone rang and I thought, oh, this is not going to be good. And you know, once again, there I am in this state where I'm like, oh, what's happening? What are they saying?
It's been 8 years since Lori Brown last hung up the phone with her son, Harrison Brown.
He was in between playing basketball inside Gregory Gym with some friends before his 2 o'clock class. And, you know, said, Mama, I love you, and, you know, we'll talk again.
Not 10 minutes later, she received another call.
There was a strange voice, a girl, at the end of the phone, and I could tell something had happened immediately. Her voice was shaking, and she asked me, are you Harrison Brown's mother? And I said, yes. And she said, there is blood profusely coming out of his chest. He's been stabbed.
Harrison and 3 other UT students were randomly stabbed by UT junior Kendricks White. Harrison didn't make it.
And I just fell to the floor. And it was so devastating. Harrison Brown was such a beautiful soul. He was the kid that sang in the bathroom, and everybody would stop to listen as, you know, he was singing in the bathroom.
This note, found in Harrison's backpack on the day of the stabbing, reveals what he had planned for the future. It's a piece of Harrison Lori held on to as she tried to carry on.
It was quite the ride after that.
The court proceedings began, Lori seeing her son's killer in person for the first time.
I'm starting to shake thinking about it. I don't know if he saw me, but I saw him. And I couldn't believe my eyes. And you know, I want to, why? Yell and scream. I didn't, but I did. I remember sobbing uncontrollably. I could not stop.
And before the trial began, a deal was in place. The court accepted a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity by White.
They said, Lori, he will never get out. He will never get out of the maximum security. And if that, it will be decades before he will be released out to probation. It said he was so severely mental ill and that there was no cure for this type of mental illness.
In 2018, Fox 7 asked Lori if she felt she got justice for her loss.
I don't know if I can answer that question right now. I still can't answer it. I feel exactly the same way today as I felt in 2018.
She was told White may soon be released.
What has changed? How can he no longer be a threat to himself or society? They did tell me that every day he has to report to this facility to make sure he's taking his medication. I mean, there's mental patients out there, God bless them, that so many that do not take their medication and feel they're fine, and until it's too late.
And she says she doesn't want what happened to Harrison to ever happen again. So she picked up the phone and has been making calls.
We're gonna fight for Harrison, and I'm gonna call everybody, and I want everybody to know that this is about to happen. And if this is what it's gonna mean. You know, you should not be okay with it. Nobody should be okay with it, except the killer.
White's hearing is on the 17th. Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch.
Well, the owner of a vintage store in Lockhart is asking for help after a truck plowed through her shop on San Antonio Street. Natalie Gordon is still reeling from the freak accident. She spoke with Fox 7 Austin's Katie Pratt.
Natalie heard that a truck had driven through her business. When she pulled around back to come inside and check it out, she saw this hole in the back door and realized it was much worse than she thought.
And I tried to unlock the back door, and the truck was actually blocking me from even being able to open the door.
An elderly man was exiting the drive-thru at First Lockhart National Bank on Monday morning when he got the gas pedal mixed up with the brakes and tore through the vintage store across the street.
I don't know for sure exactly what age, but somebody told me 88. But yeah, I think he just got disoriented.
The tire tracks are now stamped onto the floor of the Magic Mirror.
Thank God the store opens at 11 a.m. and the accident happened around 9, so nobody was in the shop.
The outside structure of the storefront is taken out along with a lot of the inventory. Natalie says she's heartbroken over a $10,000 custom sign her friend painted for her that was destroyed, not to mention the exterior damage.
Within 3 hours of the accident, I had easily 40 friends here, all just like sweeping up all of the glass, getting mops out. This feels manageable to me.
A neighboring business owner started a GoFundMe account, and people boarded up the outside to prevent looters.
I guess the silver lining of something bad happening is you see how much everybody has each other's backs, and that really meant a lot to me.
The driver is expected to be okay, and no charges are being pressed. Natalie doesn't have insurance and has to close the business while they work to make repairs.
It's a little embarrassing, but I learned my lesson. And truth be told, I didn't know that the building owner didn't have insurance. I kind of just assumed he did.
The Magic Mirror Vintage store still has everything on the outside intact, but everything in the middle and the front door is all destroyed. They're asking for donations, and we'll have a link to that GoFundMe over on our website, fox7austin.com. I'm reporting in downtown Lockhart. Katie Pratt, back to you.
All right, for more on the stories featured in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com. Click on the Crime Watch section at the top of the page. You can also watch on our Fox Local mobile and connected TV apps. They are free to download. You can stream content on your phone as well as Roku and Apple TV. Thank you so much for watching this edition of the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.